Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. Prepare for battle.
One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, made one of his street soldiers a fence thing. See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know it just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes. You're on the way to choose your type of life, cause you gotta. I tell you from now, which fighter will be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice. Just challenge me when you're ready with your tactics. High punch and spin kicks, watch your back split. I see you in the air when I make you backflip. Get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on down. Choose and pick the best one. Get it on down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it on down. Select to make your first pick. Get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get it on down. Choose and pick the best one. Get it on down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it on down. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select and make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One box could leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, made one of his street soldiers a fence thing. See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know it just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes. You're on the way to choose your type of life, cause you gotta. I tell you from now, which fighter will be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice. Just challenge me when you're ready with your tactics. High punch and spin kicks, watch your back split. I see you in the air when I make you backflip. Get it on down. Select to make your first pick.
Hey, what is up, interwebs? This is the headmaster of Gaming Academy, GQ Asian Dude, here to greet you on our technically the first episode of 2026. Congratulations, you did it. You leveled up one more year, and here we are on another stage. So welcome to the Gaming Academy. If it's your first time here, hey, pleasure to have you. I hope you have yourself a seat. Listen to what we got to say. All our words are coming from passion, memories, and the love for the game. Pun intended. But anyways, what's up, students? Welcome back to the Gaming Academy. This is class session, I think, 60. So that's a pretty big one, right? I think we're a little bit over a year. And technically, like I said, first class of 2026. And we're going to be kicking off the year with intention. That's going to be our theme for this year, is we're intending to do that. I'm your headmaster, GQ Asian Dude, joined tonight by Blazing Ace Nelson and Oliver. Nick, aka the Tragic Elite, is out this week. So we're sending him a Phoenix down and hoping he's back with us next class. So get well soon, brother. Tonight's class will move a little bit differently. We're keeping things focused, sharpened, and intentional, starting the year the way we mean to continue it. We'll begin, as always, with This Week in Gaming History with Memory Card Chronicles, taking a closer look at the releases and standout moments from January 4th all the way to January 10th. So these are the kind of games that shape genres, influenced design philosophies, and left their fingerprints all over the industry. So, and of course, feel free to chime in. After that, Professor Ace is taking us deep into the tech, breaking down the way of the Musou. To no one's surprise, the true philosophy behind Warrior Worth 1,000 genre. If you ever thought Musou games were just a button mashing, tonight's lecture may change your perspective. And he's the right person to do that to you. And then we close with, of course, the final boss titled Choosing the Next Chapter. Episode 60 isn't a finale, it's a save point. A moment to stop, breathe, and decide how we want to play the next part of our journey. So, grab your books, grab your controllers. Class is officially in session. So welcome. Let me get the faculty in here as always and let them introduce themselves. And as I get prepped for the next segment, here we go. All right, everybody sit down. Get ready to learn.
How's it going, everybody? Good to see you. So, yeah, the big 6-0, the start of 2026, and just taking a look at what's coming up, especially over the next few months, and also just taking a look at how this team has developed, progressed, and evolved over the last few episodes. it's not just hype that I'm feeling, it's legitimate confidence in how we're going to be proceeding through 2026 and beyond.
The way we intended. Nice. It's gonna be lots of fun tonight.
With intention. I like it.
Intentions. Hey, Jagos, shout out to our Comfort 94 and Jagos in chat.
We love our people, right? That's another good way to start the year. We always start off by recognizing what we have as we march in the direction that we're going, right? And we've got great people coming back and listening to us every week, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, this is the people's show. People like us, the old and forgotten gamer,
Old guys.
Old guys. So if you guys haven't joined our Discord yet, please join, because there's a funny picture of us standing in an alley drinking beer as the crew of the King of the Hill. So check that out when you guys get a chance. That was really funny when that was generated. So check it out when you get a chance. Any update last week?
Any updates from last week? Just in general?
Yeah. Anything to share with the crew, with the faculty and students?
Well, thanks to a bunch of inspiration from you. I bit the bullet and opened my art store. So basically since January 1st, I've been kicking out a ton of great art. I've got it up for sale. It literally would not have happened if I hadn't been looking at you in your direction. I was like, what is this? What is Fourth Wall? And I don't know, like,
that's good.
It was like Sonic started spinning in my head and all the gears, and I was like, oh no, nope, I got stuff to do.
I can hear the down jump button rapidly pressing.
I was like, oh no. And
that's when you need to add to the soundboard.
There you go. I think I added one here that I haven't used yet. But I don't think I added it here tonight, unfortunately. Not yet, at least. But once we get talking, I'll add that tonight. So what about you, Ace? What you got? Any updates from last time?
Let's see. As far as updates from last week, well, the addiction to ball pit has seen it.
It's sunk in.
But aside from that, I've just been, I've been basically busy prepping for, my prepping for my off-stream projects, prepping stuff that I want to do for the stream this year itself. Part of my plan for this year, because even on my stream, we had talked a lot about how 2026 is likely going to be the year where we're going to be revisiting a lot more of our backlog, or at the very least, a lot more throwbacks that either we haven't completed or want to try completing again. Musashi.
Oh, you just calling me like that. We're just gonna be rude about it. Okay.
The subtitle was Coughs and Brave Fencer Musashi.
So basically my plan is, for the folks that are actually going to be sticking around for my streams as well during our usual time slots, I'm going to be not only doing community nights every other Saturday. So, the Saturday sit down is now going to be, the sit down, and every other week it's the block party. But also Sundays are pretty much going to be dedicated retro days. So everything from NES all the way up to, oh God, here we go. NES at least up to PS3.
You feel old yet?
My back is already starting to hurt just mentioning it.
It's really like that.
Yeah.
I'm finna get them Heihachi Mishima hairs.
Oh.
So I mean, your last one that you did on, was that Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had fun in that one. That was good. We need more of that.
Yeah. Yep, that's the idea. So we're gonna be doing more of those every other week. I'm thinking next block party we're probably gonna Like next block party, I'm probably gonna switch it over to SNK. Maybe throw on either City of the Wolves or KOF 15.
Okay, cool. No, yeah, just throw it out there, and guys, if you guys want to partake, yeah, get Ace's schedule, jump in there. I like to jump in there. By the way, City of the Wolves season 1 and the main game is 67% off. So now is a perfect time to get the full game along with the battle pass because it's included for like less than $20, I think. It's crazy. Worth it. 100% worth it. So check that out if you guys have a PS5, Xbox One, and is it on PC? I think it's on PC. Right?
Yeah, it's on PC.
Yeah,
But
and
also, I would say because I've already got an idea for what I want to do for our third block party. So let's see. First block party was the 3rd, 17th. So yeah, end of this month, January 31st. If you got it for PS4, either on disc or digital, make sure you get that sucker ready. Get your corniest creations out of mothballs because we're going to be jumping into Soul Calibur 6.
Oh, joy. Oh, joy.
Oh boy.
I got to get into
Wait.
that. I never played that really, so I'm going to jump in that one.
Wait. Is it 6 or is it 5 that was rough? Okay, it was 5. Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm scared.
That was the one with Ezio in it, and that's basically the only reason to play it, right?
But y'all can ask Thomas Duder next time you talk to him. Ask him about my rant on Soul Calibur 5.
Man,
that's the.
I didn't know what it meant to be depressed video game until I played Soul Calibur 5. I was like, "Oh, this is terrible. What did you guys do?
What not to do?
The apology.
What not to do?
Yeah, what not to do? 100%. Yeah, characters are important for sure, and respect to legacy characters are definitely much important. It's kind of like I was reading an article about how like Capcom is always trying to change Ryu out as the Street Fighter main protagonist, and then every time they try to do it, people just push back because he is Street Fighter basically. So that's what it is. So it is what it is. All right. Well, the fact that you brought up retro on PS3 brings me back to the time.
Oh no! Did we lose him? Oh no!
Wow. We lost the host.
Oh no!
That's not good. He said the magic words and got ghosted away. That's incredible. That might be the most amazing thing that's ever happened on this show. So we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna have to carry it. Let's go ahead and carry it. Let's go.
Hey, I can work with that. So yeah, I mean just seeing as how we were talking about, PS3 and retro, let's just get right down to it. Again, we're trying to trim the fat, make this, we're trying to move forward more with intention, right?
Yes.
So with that being said, taking a look at our memory card chronicles this week, the lineup is actually kind of slim, largely because it's the start of the year. It's fresh after the new year. Everyone's coming off of their holiday. Everyone's already playing what they bought during the Christmas holiday rush.
Yep.
So we can go ahead and cut through this at a nice clip. Let me make sure I've got the listings up here.
And just to remind people as you're flipping through the list there, historically, because that's kind of my role here is kind of as a video game historian. I know a lot about just the past 40 years of video games and even a little bit before that, so I can kind of tell you why the beginning of the year is always rough. Traditionally, the tradition was to you didn't release video games in the summer, right? If you're going from the 1980s to mid 2000s, right? You didn't release new video games in the spring. You didn't really release them in the summer, right? Because the summer, everyone's vacationing. They're not at home. Video games were not nearly as big as they are now.
And I literally just put it together with, like on the other side of the international date line.
Yep.
December is usually in the summer months for Japan, isn't it?
Yep. So it was a very different time schedule back in the day. And so just if we
Yeah.
look back historically, it's hard. It's a very barren time in video game land. And that's why we always had our biggest releases. If we jump back 20 years, we're going to go back to Half-Life 2 would release, in I believe it was November, right?
Right.
World of Warcraft came out around that time. Halo 2, if you wanted to see the biggest drops of the year, they were going to happen before Black Friday. And this included console hardware too, mostly, with the exception of Nintendo, who has taken the kind of the smarter strategy of let's release hardware early in the year, right? And let the day one people snatch it up and get it as fast as possible. That way, when the holidays roll around and the people, the kids are like, I want this for Christmas, those people can now come through and get their product. But, it was just one of those, this is definitely a way we're going to make sales. But now that gaming is a very full year-round experience for people, and it's not interrupted by a summer vacation and then school starting. Parents don't want the kids on video games during school nights and all that other stuff, right? It's opened up different release avenues. So as we continue to go forward over the course of this year's show, you're going to start to notice in this week in history, in this week, and then it's like it's going to be kind of barren, and then it's just going to start going boom and open it up, and absolute certified bangers are going to be dropping for a week straight, and you're gonna be like, "What in the world just happened?" It's like, well,
It's
that's why.
it's like popcorn. Like literally at this part of the
Right.
year, you just got the kernels sitting in the kettle. But then it's gonna hit a certain point, and then boom, everything's literally gonna start popping off.
That's literally how it works. And now we've kind of shifted it around to developers are starting to get very comfortable with doing spring releases. So we're starting to see things kind of pop around. Late February, March is a big one these
Yeah.
days, right? Like Nintendo launched the Switch. Wasn't it in March of 2017?
March of 2017.
It was March of 2017 and came out with new hardware. Man, they made March crazy, right? Plus, here's the other thing. Everyone's broke. It's January. Do people go into debt over
Oh,
Christmas? They broke either. Look, here's where all the money comes from. You either taken out credit card or you got gift cards. But for straight cash, no, most people are broke. They're broke. They're waiting on that tax return to come around, and then they're gonna get excited again. We'll be
Right.
like, okay, we're out of the red. We're back in the
Right.
black. All right, let's do it all over.
So
again.
speak
So for this week's
speaking
releases,
of getting back in the black, let's start with our first actual entry for Memory Card Chronicles this week. We're pretty much going to be bypassing the 4th and jumping straight to January 5th. And James's pick, GQ's pick, was a 2-for-1. Both dropping in
A twofer.
2010 on the PS3. January 5th marks the 16th anniversary for both Darksiders and Bayonetta.
wow.
Hello.
Oh, you came back in just in
Wow,
time,
this-
man.
dude,
I think somebody hit like a post by my neighborhood or something.
Don't worry though. We had you, baby. We had you picked up while you were unconscious. We carried you.
I was in the point.
It was fun.
We slowed
He's-
down.
he
We
was
slowed
out.
down the continue counter so it didn't hit 0 before you respawn.
I lost. Yeah,
There
put a
you
quarter in. The dynamite didn't blow up in the final fight continue screen.
Wow.
Anybody remember that?
I'll see your dynamite and raise you, Ninja Gaiden, and that saw
Yes.
blade.
Oh man.
That traumatized me for a very long
I
time.
see y'all. I see y'all's dynamite and your saw blade for that endless pit in Mortal Kombat 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you just keep
That's
going. Yeah,
zero,
that's
you're right.
right.
That's cool. Okay, well, I think that is gonna be a segment, and check this out. Continue screens. Yeah, that'd be fun. Please, I'm gonna
So
leave that
write
to
that
you.
down.
you do that one, or you guys do it.
Why not? Yeah.
That'd be
Tech
fun.
top
That's a
five.
fun
Top
one.
5 continue screens.
Yeah, top 5 continue screens. In
Actually,
chat, if you guys know a good one, please let me know. Yeah, before we jump into the next segment, before I got banished to the Shadow Realm, let's see here. We got some chat here. Looks like
We were actually just starting up the MCC and bringing up your pick for the
Yep.
5th.
okay, cool.
We picked where we
Yeah,
brought
where
the
were
picks.
we on that? We gotta do the loading screen.
Now we are in proper memory card chronicle time.
There you go. Memory card.
So,
Chronicles. It's goofy
So
time.
yeah, the big twofer for January 5th, GQ.
Yeah, my two for this one, it was hard to pick, but these two were the ones that kind of popped up in my immediate vision, what attracted me the most. Matter of fact, I wanted to bring that up because I feel like these two games was one of the way they caught my eye was literally off a screenshot, a video, and their artwork on the shelf. And I kind of wanted to share that with you and the crew here in chat. That kind of like these things matter when you're picking out video games and you're trying to kind of like look into new games to play, So Bayonetta, I would say like this one came out on the 5th of January 2010, and this Lady May Cry is basically Devil May Cry with the sassy attitude of a witch, right? And like nothing really is like kind of presented in the box art to this, but like I just remember from my experience is the box art didn't do much for me, but when I watched the video to see the gameplay, I was like, wow, she's doing Dante combos, and I was like, I think this is my game, like one of my. So I'm gonna show you some gameplay here. Share my screen. If you guys, don't know what Devil May Cry or Bayonetta is.
But yeah, while you're getting that pulled up, like the box art was kind of, it was an artifact of the time, largely because a lot of games that were coming out back then, they kept it really straightforward with just the lead character on the box art with the title.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where you could walk past Bayonetta and think it's just a dime a dozen game. Most people wouldn't actually look into it. But then, again, actually seeing the gameplay videos for it, and also, of course, word of mouth from others that had already gotten their hands on the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of what was doing the work before a lot of the art and the visual designs actually started, being more widespread.
And honestly, like a lot of the times when I look at a game like through a video like this or the box art, that's like the average consumer, right? They're not going to go too hard into detail of like researching anything. So this is like an average person going in there looking for a new game, and they have to depend on the sales associate to be like, hey, can you recommend me an action game, right? And or if there's not one, they just have to kind of go on the shelf, look at the back of the box, just like what we did in VHS stores back in the day, and just kind of risk that if it's a good game or not, right?
We did have to gamble our asses off back in the day, now didn't we?
Yeah, 100%.
You were like, boy, woo! It's like you were making a big purchase, sight unseen, man. But that's almost some of the magic of old gaming too, is we really didn't know, and you just had, and there was a whole art form into selling it, right? Getting that box and drawing us in and convincing us to take that chance based on your description and a few screenshots on the back, right? And that big beautiful splash of cover art. Like, ooh, it's everything. It's
everything. In the Nintendo era, it was everything. You know why? Because I'm still hurt by X-Men by LGN. That box art was amazing. And you play it.
I happen to like that game, but I'm a mutant, so that's fine. I'm a weird mutated dude. of the LGN games, I like more of them than most people are comfortable with
Listen,
knowing.
all,
Okay.
all of us have our look. We could very much be students at Xavier School for the Gifted. We all have our mutations. Okay, you like
I'm just saying I'm a little deranged, but
you're a little deranged, but you're
even
not
I have a
KOF on
line.
keyboard deranged.
That's
Correct. Exactly. I'm not that level of crazy. I don't be messing with that Back to the Future game. I don't know what the hell the LGN was thinking with that. I'm mad. I'm mad at me for thinking about it now. So I'm just gonna sit here with that attitude the rest of the night, just like make me sick. How dare you think of
Now the other flip side, not the flip side, but the counter, not counter, but the complement to this is the Darksiders box art, which is not Bayonetta. Is this one? Let me load it up right now. Is amazing also because if you like comic book art, I mean, you guys know who it is. Joe Mad made the art for this game and basically sold the game to me from how it looks. To me, I saw this foil cover, by the way. That's why it's shiny like that. Got cool Napoleon artwork with like a sword raising in the air with the horse. Man, over skulls. That's like I'm playing that game. So what does it look like in the back? Right. And this is exactly God, show you because I was not disappointed, gang. Look at this. Look at this intro screen. Are you ready to save the world from the coming of the horsemen? So I was immediately sold.
I got to tell you, I think that Darksiders as a franchise has been weak, but Darksiders 1 is pure gold. That game is baller beyond belief. Okay, they took a little bit of everything that you liked and just threw it right in the pot in the exact right amount. I was like, what am I playing here? What am I playing? Am I playing God of War?
Yep.
A little bit, right? But then you realize, hold up, I'm playing Ocarina
Yep.
of Time. Wait a minute. Hold up. Like, it just kept coming at you. And they really put it together. And I was like, we got to take Mark Hamill out. He's got to go.
Right?
If people didn't know, Mark Hamill is
he's
in
the jailer. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the voice actor for the jailer.
Yeah. He is your jailer, and he is constantly giving you grief, right? But no, this game is clean. It is so
Andre
clean.
says there's 90s comic book energy. Yeah, 100%. And I'm gonna piggyback on what you said there, Oliver. Like, yeah, depending where you're coming from. If you're a Nintendo boy and you're gonna be playing this, you're gonna be like, this plays like Ocarina of Time. If you're a Sony boy, you'll be like, wow, this feels like God of War. So he's right about that.
Yeah.
Depending where you're coming from, it's gonna feel like another game that you've played before.
And then
it's so fun. It's such a blast. And of course, this is one of the games that got a remastering, not but a couple of years ago.
I have
Right?
said
What is it? War
Yeah,
Master.
Remastered Edition.
Because you're War.
War Mastered.
Oh, and of course, I see we also have someone in the chat that most certainly has a exquisite taste in comics. Mentioning that she only heard of Darksiders because she followed comics and knew Joe Mad.
Oh, there you go. Let's see. Let me put it on the screen here. Always Dandy. I only heard of Darksiders because I followed comics and I knew Joe Mad. But then Oliver played this, and it was such a treat. There you go. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
even though I didn't get the chance to pick it up until the War Mastered Edition, much like Dandy, I followed Joe Mad. I followed J. Scott Campbell and Humberto Ramos during the Cliffhanger comic run, and seeing his artwork is just. Remember how last week I was talking about how unique Hyun Tae Kim's style is?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Joe Mad. Like the moment I recognized his artwork on Darksiders, I was just like, I need to get this eventually.
You know what's funny about Joe Mad? For me, my experience with Joe Mad was from the PSN magazine.
Mhm.
Right? And I was like, I didn't know who Joe Mad was, but I was like, this is the artist from the PSN magazine. And I love that. Who is it?
Yes, sir.
Once again, coming from different places, we all join together. in one like fulcrum of nerdum. So, I love it.
Right? It just all kind of comes together in a weird but good
Yeah.
way. And let me tell you something about Darksiders, just for the homies that don't know. Listen, the whole game opens on one premise: the apocalypse, Armageddon, has begun. Right? War's like, it's go time. Let's do this. And I mean, he goes to work. That's literally what you see right here. He's going to work. And then the ref blows the whistle. Offsides. He's like, what? What the hell? They're like, Armageddon hasn't started. He was like, I heard the call. Like, I got told to get off the bench, so I did. They're like, no, you started all this. You caused all this. He's like, I'm innocent.
Well, aren't you on
He did not.
vacation?
Right. And so the game is him trying to prove that he did not inadvertently start Armageddon. And it's really a conspiracy game. If you can believe that, you're like, what? Yes, it's one massive
Yeah,
conspiracy.
you can't see it from
It's
here,
great.
but yeah,
It's-
the writing in this game was pretty good, and it's like it's great. Check it out.
true.
It's not expensive, but definitely a worthy pickup for action RPG players. Action adventure.
With Ace talking about people hitting the backlog this year, really hitting the backlog, this is a game that if people missed it, give it a try. It's strongly recommended right now by the entire panel. So I can't sell it better than that. We're like, oh no, that first game. Woo!
Yep. No, this is fire. It's funny too because they're cheeky about it because they remastered called the War Mastered, and in the second one you play his brother Death, and they call it the Definitive Edition. Pretty fun, and they know what they're doing. They're rolling with it. I love it. I love it. All right. Speaking of rolling with it, let's go to the next day. Nothing for the 6th. It is the beginning of like a new year, so I don't think games have released. They've already been released, right? But we're gonna skip over to the 7th for a little racing game that probably no one has played except a few people. Question mark?
The little racing game that could.
Yeah.
Damn, he done brought up Initial
Yep.
D.
Initial D arcade stage. This I'm specifically choosing the arcade one, not the one on the PlayStation. My memory of this is often from theaters. Believe it or not, Ace, because I know you have a theater experience as well.
Yep.
A lot of theaters in Chicago had this arcade, and people would race before the movie starts. So. But yeah, share. You guys have anything to share about Initial D for the arcade?
Actually, it's funny, Jay Ghost, that you up and mentioned Arcade Stage 3 because that was the machine that we had at Tilt back when Andrew and I were working there. But yeah, like Initial D, I mean stuff like Initial D, and of course, the cruising racing games like Cruising USA, Cruising World. If you want to get in a couple of good laps, put your foot on the gas before you put your butt in the seats.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where most people turn to. And like I didn't play much of it because racing games weren't they weren't necessarily my cup of tea, but I always had fond memories of just watching people sit down, play Initial D, occasionally, opening up and working on the games. It was just one of those core components of the arcade experience, whether it's a full amusement center or just a couple of machines lined up outside the cinema.
Yeah, and this usually came as a pair, right? There were usually one attached to it.
Yep.
And Jago said it masterfully as I was going to describe it from my notes. These came with the Initial D arcade cards was basically a fake license that you get that saves your progress in the game. I think this is probably one of the earliest ways to record your arcade experience and bring it with you wherever you go. I think that's very notable to talk about just because that wasn't a thing back in the day. Something physical you can take with you to the arcade and say, hey, I've been to this arcade, I played this game, and this is my proof, let me show you.
Yep.
Right?
This is literally like a couple years before before Bandai Namco started hitting it up with Soul Calibur 2 and with the Tekken 5 arcade cabs where you could actually use your memory card for character customization data.
Isn't that cool? Like the transition between home and arcade was still a thing where you can play at home and practice and show off at the arcade, right? Like you
Right.
bring your best A game at the arcade. It was almost like a stage, right? So it's super cool. And I still kind of wish we had an arcade scene, but not as cool as Japan.
Especially with the sad news that Brooklyn Arcade's going to be closing down in the next couple months.
Oh no, another one bites the dust, huh?
Yep.
I was reading, and this is totally random chat, but like I was reading somewhere that like most people, or not most people, but people that tend to want to build an arcade have the hopes and dreams and they have the plan. But what they don't account for is the taxes they pay on building in the arcade, and that in itself is like a revenue drainer, So it's like they don't consider that half the time, and it's sad because it's like it's what's stopping you from fulfilling your dream arcade. Taxes.
Yep.
No.
Taxes. Well, there are two things that are sure in life: death and
Yes.
taxes,
I've heard that before many a times in many games.
which is a game as
Yep.
well. And it is interesting. It was an interesting game to play.
All right, Ace. Let's see here. On the next one, same day.
Oh, dear God. What is happening to those men? What in the...
More of these like fake video games online. The next one here, Ace. Why don't you cover that?
So yeah, this next choice over here for the 7th though was one that definitely changed the landscape of gaming for sure. Because on the 7th in 2008, that was when EA went ahead and expanded their portfolio with the acquisition of VG Holdings Corp, which also meant that they had acquired Pandemic Games and BioWare.
Ooh.
Another one where I'm kind of sad Nick missed this week because he's our big BioWare dude, and when a lot of people would say that when EA acquired BioWare, that was this. Some would say that was the start of quality most definitely taking a bit of a dip, but without BioWare under EA, we wouldn't have Dragon Age Origins. We wouldn't have Mass Effect. So, I mean, there's pros and cons, but just when this merger happened, much like the merger with Bandai Namco that we discussed a while back, much like the merger with Square Enix, this was back when not so many companies were actually being, just bought up wholesale, like not even bought up so much as just straight up assimilated. But
Truly.
this was still at a time where mergers were still pretty notable. Oh,
I mean, yeah.
Origins was pre-EA.
Because they weren't like super common, like, so it was very notable when it occurred, like, like when Sierra Online,
Oh my gosh.
they did their stuff, right?
By the way, Oliver, I as a Sierra Interactive nerd, because I know I'm familiar with Sierra Interactive, I don't think the old company exists anymore because I looked them up and they're like a real estate website host now. Or I don't know if it's the same company, but they have definitely stolen the name from them, even like the domain.
Ouch.
So
That's rough.
sad, this childhood. And guys, we wouldn't have gotten Anthem for not this relationship. Just want to remind you guys this game exists. Unfortunately, I think they're removing the servers, right?
Oh yeah, Anthem finna
Yes.
get delisted within the week.
Dude, this game is
It's getting delisted the rest of the week, and then it's shut down the end of this month. Did I see like something like January 26th?
it's sad because I actually enjoyed this game. It was just missing stuff, Chad, you want to play Iron Man?
I'm sorry, it's not the 26th. It's January 12th. So 6 days from now, it's shutting down.
Oh, geez. Get your copies now. Play it for 6 days.
I was about to say.
Look how pretty this game looks. I think, and you may check me on this, Oliver, but like I was reading something on an interview about Anthem. Was that this was what they showed in the trailer, and the devs were watching this, and they were like, "That's the game we have to make," and it was really interesting.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
it was like
no.
backwards. EA had pushed this for E3, and the devs were like, "Oh, that's the game we're making." And that was like a secret interview that never got aired and never got like published. But that could have just been an angsty employee. I don't know.
They said I see.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I'm downloading it right now. I'm gonna get my 6 days.
There you go. I love that.
I'm getting it. Like you can't stop me, you sons of bitches. I was like, oh, is it up there? And I always actually was interested in playing it,
Yeah.
honestly. And I don't like most Bioware games, but I was always like,
It-
I don't
it
know.
feels more
I
like-
like it. I like mech suits.
Honestly, Ace, doesn't it feel more like Exoprimal? Like, but it's not Exoprimal, but the feeling of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely got that Exoprimal without the dinosaurs vibe.
Yeah, without the dinosaurs vibe to it. It is just big open world too. It's pretty cool. It kind of sucks that it just kind of got abandoned. It was fun. It was fun. All right, moving on to the next game because I don't want to be sad thinking about Anthem because I had good memories with Anthem. We're gonna go to a game that maybe 3 people have played, and one of the 3 is me. And here we go, guys. Put it in chat if you've played Kingdom Under Fire: Circle of Doom. Do you guys even know what this game is? Out of curiosity, chat. I want to see. If you guys know. Don't be faking. Don't be faking.
Nah, bruh.
He's got me.
Yes.
me.
Okay. Okay. People have played
Of course, Ryan's played it.
Yep. He'd be the one.
If anybody's played it, it's me. All right. This is actually the sequel to Kingdom Under Fire Crusaders, which was originally on the Xbox OG. And this is one of those rare situations where I played the first game. I loved it. Ace, the first game is like half strategy, half Dynasty Warriors. So letting you know that. Pretty cool. All right, like medieval Dynasty Warriors. This one, they took away like the strategic element and they went like hack and slash with it. They went all in on the beat 'em up portion. So let me show you, Kingdom Under Fire, some Kingdom Under Fire gameplay here, and let me show you.
Go on.
Now this is the sequel, right? Circle of Doom. Also, I wanted to bring this up because to me there wasn't like a real true like medieval Dynasty Warriors, and this is Italian apparently. But yeah, it was it's basically this, and they made it different than the first one, and I really wanted to bring that up because like without doing too much research, right? As like the most consumer thing to do. You play the first one, you love it, you're like, oh, there's a sequel. And remember, there's no demos, we had to look at magazines, right? Videos, right? Let's just say you just get it. You realize it's not the same game. Like it's 100% different. Kind of like going from Metal Gear Solid to Metal Gear Revenge, right? Wink, wink.
Right.
So I just wanted to highlight that this is like how brave of them to do as such, especially with such a very small title, like well-known title. It's a cool game. I like it. Personally, I like the first one better, but check it out if you guys are a fan of hack and slash and Dynasty Warriors.
Okay.
See, this one felt like Avengers. Yeah, the way the fact that you bring that up, yeah, it's like it's a good game and people like it. It's just I don't know, there's just something off, or people just didn't like it, had a sour taste in their mouth or something. Like it didn't feel right, because your expectation was different for sure. Jacob says it has his attention. Isn't this the third one? There is like there were 2 in the Xbox one, but they were like I think the second was more like an expansion from what I remember. Right? Yeah, 2 strategy games on the original Xbox. Okay. You have Ace's
Now explain
attention.
that.
Yeah. So check this out, Ace. Let me show you the first game. It's gonna show you. It's gonna basically be.
Oh, the first Kingdom Under Fire is on Steam.
And I think this is like the sequel, but like this is you pick your character. And it's cool because we never really had like a medieval Dynasty Warriors, and that's kind of what I was craving when I picked this game.
Right? I mean, even with the actual medieval title from Koei Tecmo with Bladestorm, that was, more focused on a lot of the RTS elements.
Yeah, there you go. So it's very similar, right? You guys you summon infantry on the map and you move them around, but then when you get into the combat, like it goes Dynasty Warriors style, right?
Oh, here we go.
So, and this is kind of what I was talking about when I was like, I wish Origins kind of did this where you control your units. Then once you get to the units and you clash, it becomes like a different game, right? So maybe something to look at down the road.
Yeah, that's enough Muso for him. It's good enough. I can see it.
So
Are there more than 35 guys on the screen? Sold.
all
Brother.
right, well, this one here I'm looking forward to. Let me get the artwork for this ace and
Let's see what he's got, folks.
So coming up the day after on January 9th, this bad boy, a year after its release on consoles, made the leap from console to PC.
Mm.
Speaking of, now, I picked up Metal Gear Rising. Like, I first picked it up when it released on the PS3 after I had played the demo. Demos are important, people. But when this actually dropped on Steam, it already came with the DLC, that had released for it at the time. So it had the expansion campaigns for Blade Wolf and for Jetstream Sam, and it basically released as a complete edition. But seeing as how this was also releasing on PC, that means you've got the performance boosts, and you've got, of course, you've got a community surrounding it that just went ham on mods. But I didn't get the chance. I didn't pick this up when it first released on Steam because I still had it on. I still had it on PS3. But shortly after I got my hands on that Alienware, thank you, Oliver, I had started getting more into Steam gaming, and thus, picked up Middle Earth, Shadow of War, and I picked this one up. Like, literally, Middle Earth, Metal Gear Rising, and Dragon's Dogma were like the three big PS3 games that I made sure to get first on Steam. And it felt like a brand new experience, not only because I was starting from scratch, but also, again, just playing it with the additional performance boosts on a game that already played pretty damn smooth to begin with. But yeah, it was really great to see this actually, jumping from consoles to PCs, because, if it's a game that I enjoy, I want to see more people get the chance to play it. And I mean, yeah, I definitely understand, there's folks out there that couldn't quite get into it. Ryan being a perfect example. Oliver as well. Yep. You're not able to get into it. It's not your thing. Perfectly fine. But if I want to jump into something where I can cut a motherfucker 6 different ways from Saturday, and then 7 more on Sunday,
times 10, times 3.
What I jump into.
Yeah, no, he's not joking. He's not joking, kids. You can cut up the bad guys in this game so much it lags your system. It's true.
But you can't cut the cat.
Like any other game, I can always find something good and find something bad, right? Even the games that I abhor, I still tend to find something good about them. And even though I think Metal Gear Rising is just an utter butchering, and I think Kojima should have stuck to it himself and not handed it off to Platinum. But don't fuck with this, Senator. Played college ball, Jack. Look, His ass was not prepared for the man that he got into that scrap with. That is one of the greatest scenes I have ever seen in my life. Senator Armstrong beating his ass up and down the street. I ain't seen an ass whooping to that degree since I was a child in the
Okay,
hood,
listen. Well,
in the
Oliver,
projects. Okay, I'm like, oh,
let me hit you with something real quick. And this is most definitely going to alter your view of Senator Stephen Armstrong from the University of Texas. Armstrong is the anti-Hagar.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's his antithesis, right? They're both politicians. They strong, right? One's got a mustache, the other one doesn't. Like, it's come on, man, it's yin yang. We're just talking here. Like, that's what's up. No, he was beating Jack's ass. I was like, oh yeah, you getting stomped out, boy. I was like, oof, right? And of course, look, that fucking song is an earworm. I'm not even
The
gonna
whole
apologize.
soundtrack is, frankly.
That one song. Come on, man. Standing here, I realize. Like, woo! I'm like, yeah. I'm like, geez, he's
Speaking of
throwing
standing-
all them punches into them abs. There it is. Like, oh man.
Now listen,
No, he was
listen.
fighting.
If you are
He was
playing a
fighting.
game where your protagonist is armed to the teeth, and your opponent shows up like this, brace yourselves.
My absolute favorite moment from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Absolutely. Just, I don't know why, it sticks, it resonates. When Armstrong hit him so hard in his damn jaw that metal started glowing orange, and he was like, that was the moment Jack knew he fucked up. He's like,
Yep.
wait a minute. Something's different. Like, what is this? He just pink, and that whole thing, it's like, oof. Man, my man literally is blacksmith in your face. How does that feel? Like, you don't want that smoke. I just said, "Fuck it." You know what? You could have America. I would just put my shit down. You're like, you know what? I'm packing it in. Like, good night. that would have been me. I just said, "Fuck it." No, I'm like, no, this guy means it. He's in it to win it. He wasn't playing. You know what? That's a great way to put it. We see in so much fiction, as a storyteller, we see many villains across books and films and games and comics and all that. They don't play for keeps, right? It's like, how far are you willing to go to get your win, right? And Senator Armstrong was not playing with him. He wasn't pulling his punches. He wasn't being all overly, superior, blah, blah, blah. Nope, he got right in there and started whooping his ass. He got his own hands dirty. This isn't Skeletor running off till we meet again. Like, no. No, there are two villains who got in there and got dirty in recent history, and in the past 15 years. Thanos whooped the dog shit out of them Avengers. He lit all of them up. Can you imagine? Do you know how it feels to be black and to watch a purple man, to watch Grimace come from the sky, come down to the heart of Africa and whoop the dog shit out of a whole bunch of Africans? Even the white guys got their asses whooped. I'm like, this is a bad precedent for us all. No one is safe. He didn't even go to Asia. I'm like, why did he? No, he dropped into the heart of Africa with the highest technology in the world, and he was like, he's like, oh, look, the robot's gonna commit suicide. I'm just gonna turn back time and kill you. It's like, that's some brutal shit. He was in it to win it, and then he did what he said he'd do. I admire it. Senator Armstrong. He's not playing around with Jack. He's not playing around with Raiden. Nanomachine, son.
Man did not play with demons.
If that
He didn't
if that
play.
doesn't sell you to play the game, I don't know what does. So
He-
get in there, powered up, get in there.
Mhm.
It's like the game was rated mature, but Armstrong's hands were rated E for everyone.
And
Woof,
he
yes,
rolled
they
up his
were.
sleeves and unloosened his tie. He went to work for sure.
He went to work. He clocked it. He clocked the fucking. He said, "Shoot, let's go." It's like, what?
All right. The I guess the juxtaposed to this game, the next game here, on the 11th. No, sorry, on the 10th is Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. Does anybody on the panel play this game while it was out on the PS2 and Xbox?
No, I haven't had a chance.
I was there when it launched.
Okay, cool.
I was there when it launched. I was working at Funko Land, and I can tell you for a fact that everyone talked about this game. This is just one of those memories of, oh no, I remember. Everyone was like, this is the greatest damn thing I have ever played in my life. Right? People went bonkers for this. And I never got a chance to play. I didn't play Mercenaries 1, I didn't play Mercenaries 2, but everyone remembers that damn ad for Mercenaries 2. That's for sure.
Okay. Man, brought by Funko Land. That's where I bought my Sega Saturn. So awesome. I love that. But yeah, I actually, I wasn't a big fan of like big open world games like this. To like at the time, I was probably into more like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Demon Stone from Forgotten Realms, very like gauntlet like games. And I just heard so much good things about this and where it came from, and kind of wanted to know what the big deal was. And one of the benefits of working at a game store is you get to rent out the games for free, like the used games. And I think I remember trying this out, and just generally just had a good time. I wouldn't have thought of to get this game by myself without any research whatsoever. And I was like, okay, now I get why people are buying copies of Mercenary at my store, because they would just come in like, do you guys have Mercenary? I'm like, okay, well, what's the big deal? I didn't, it looks like it's just another like, to me, this was like from the back looked like Siphon Filter, right? And it doesn't look anything unique, but as you play, you're like, oh, I get it now. It makes sense. It makes sense. So check it out if you guys ever, have a chance to not get a seizure from watching the back. Oh my god,
Right?
what's going on with that? But yeah, I think it's
Oh, my corneas.
yeah, exactly. All right, let me. That must be like an emulation error or something.
Probably.
All right, well, the next one,
My eyes.
this one actually, I want to partake with this because this is Ace's choice. Ace, lead
Oh,
us
it's
today.
my choice, but it's all three of us.
Lead us to freedom. There you go.
Ahem. Imagine Spider-Man playing Monster Hunter, and you got Freedom Wars.
Done.
I honestly don't think I can sum that up any more succinctly than that. Like, not only are the designs for the monsters in that game absolutely incredible, but the setting, like the backdrop of the game, the story itself, the whole concept of you literally being born with a 1,000,000-year sentence and you have to go out and risk your ass fighting off these monsters, basically contributing to society to work off years based on what you do. I mean, you are at the start of the game, you are so penned in, you are so structured, you are literally in prison. It's at the point where if you even run in the halls, you get years added to your sentence. You run in the halls and you get years added to your sentence.
Yeah, any kind of misbehavior, like the number in your like little wrist or goes up. Like this, there was a movie like this with Justin Timberlake, where like your years in life was the currency, and it reminded me of that movie.
But aside from the designs, though, like literally one of the greatest things that this particular game brings to the hunting genre, like even outside of God Eater, is just the seamless transition, the seamless switch off between, melee and ranged combat. And then, of course, your space control with the thorns. And as you're seeing right here,
so cool.
Like this was before Attack on Titan, correct?
This, yeah, definitely was before, because when I watched Attack on Titan, I said, hey, this is like Freedom Wars.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I want to say you're incorrect. I want to say Attack on Titan, or if you mean the Attack on Titan game, sorry. But Attack on Titan as a manga definitely predates Freedom Wars.
As
oh
an
yeah,
anime, yeah,
no, I know
anime came
that.
out first for sure.
Not even the anime. Yeah, just the manga itself started in 2009.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, crazy,
Okay, so the
crazy, isn't
manga
it?
started in
No,
'09, but then when did Freedom Wars come out initially?
Freedom Wars was, I
13,
want to say,
14, yeah,
2014.
Oh wait, because that was PS Vita, wasn't it?
yeah. Origin and the Vita.
Yes, sir. Yep,
And of course,
came out
PT
October
era
28th,
10
2014.
2014. That should have given it away.
Do you feel old yet?
Yep.
Where's my thorns?
I wish.
I do have interesting history to
Oh, yeah.
share
Please,
regarding this
please do.
too, on multiple levels, but quick. So, as stated, to answer Jagos, yes, this was the game that was remade recently, which is why it's included in this list because this remake came out a year ago, right? It's a very early title in the Vita's lineup, and it was an attempt to kind of do a Monster Hunter thing, right? It was strongly backed by Sony at the time. I consider Freedom Wars to be one of the greatest games ever made, just because it's someone who attempted to take on Monster Hunter without copying Monster Hunter. It's just that structure is so important, right? And it's just simply a blast. So obviously, I picked it up, and boy, we barnstormed the hell out of this game when it dropped last year. Oh, we platted the hell out of it. We made sure this time, and the remaster. They didn't just remaster. They just didn't do some skins. No, they actually went back and retooled this game. The original release had some elements of the game that were based on real world timers, things like manufacturing and whatnot, and you can only have so many plots, and there was a lot of DLC. There's a ton. Listen to me, children. There's so much DLC for this game. Most of it was free, but I'm talking it's a lot, right? And Freedom Wars Remaster includes all of it, does a complete overhaul of how the weapon systems worked, how the upgrades of those systems works. They removed random chance. They let you get more to the fun parts of the game and stay there a lot
I
faster.
only
So
have
it's as
I
far
only have one complaint with Freedom Wars thus far, and all things considered, I don't think I've played through the entirety of the content in the game, so I wouldn't know. But I mean, I hit credits, enjoyed the hell out of it. There is one complaint that I have.
Hmm.
Why no fist weapons?
right.
There
There's
are
a- there's-
characters in there that square up with gauntlets, and I'm like, why can't we?
there is code in the game for it. There is actual code in the game for it, like it was going to be a thing, and it's just not developed the rest of the way. People data mine the hell out of that, looking for that, and it's like, huh, why not? And of course, this was supposed to be the beginning of a franchise, but they released it on a platform that was doomed, right? So these guys somehow managed to get all that IP back from Sony, and then took that to Bandai, and they were just grateful to be able to get a chance to put this back out and have it be a success and let it continue on as it was, because the story does end on a cliffhanger, like in a pretty major way. Like you're like, oh, okay, clearly this isn't over. The second fact of historical trivia, the reason when you start, you belong to a panopticon. Well, what is a panopticon? A panopticon is more or less a theoretical, and I say more or less, I'll let you know in a second, type of prison where it's circular, just like how you see it structured in the game, but it's a design with an inbuilt system of control where many prisoners, with if you've got a half circle, right, you've got one guard, right, you've got one guard, but he can see everyone within a person's line of sight, right? The idea of the panopticon is that you're going to maintain control because it's possible that you can be observed from all angles at all times. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are being looked at, but you could be observed, and that would help to control a prisoner's behavior.
Mm.
Now, the crazy thing is, we had one in the United States. And it was shut down in 2016.
Wow,
Wow,
that's crazy.
Mhm.
It,
See, people learn, you learn some
It's
shit.
cool
You're like,
too, like,
oh no.
that could, and also like this is one of the guardsmen's like uniforms, right? And like having the mind's eye as like a mask is like that's a good way to depict that what you just said too.
Yep. So that's what all the themes and everything that carries on across the game. You are always being observed, right? And even the tiniest little thing is being noted and
Mhm.
being watched.
Ooh, like an ant farm. Ooh, creepy. Yeah, so one of the things I enjoyed about video games, guys, is especially being part of the academy, is that when I went to college, I took art history, and there's a lot of things art can tell you about the culture and civilization of the time of the art, and honestly video games do a very good job of that. That's one of my favorite things when I see stuff like that, like what Oliver just said. Like, that's so cool to me that like they put all this effort in and placed it in design and the art of the game and kind of like the concept of the story. Like, that's so cool. Like, we may just see it as like you're a prisoner, right? And you have to like fight to get your time decreased, but like there's these details on purpose that are put there that way because of reasons, right? And it's so fascinating to me. I love it.
Plus, I love it because it's like Uncle Ruckus's dad slapping him, but that's you in your prison years. Like, did I just catch you trying to walk? Bam, 20 years. You're like, oh, okay. So you find out very early on you're gonna have a bad
Oh, here you
time.
go. I just paused it at the right time. Here's the good timing.
Did I just catch you trying? No, for those that didn't play, that's not a joke. I didn't make a joke. If you take right at the beginning, if you take more than 5 steps in a row consecutively in your prison cell without explicit permission to do so, they will add another 20 years to your sentence. If you sit down and you're like, I'm gonna lay down and go to sleep, you do not have the right to go to sleep.
You see,
They start hitting you with the penalties hard. You're like, oh, y'all are serious about this. Ain't no talking to no ladies. It just keeps going. They just keep stacking it up. You're
it all
like,
adds up.
okay. I actually heard a couple of people quit playing Freedom Wars very early because they were so demoralized by those early. And those was that played knows that 20 years, man, that
Yeah,
ain't
that's
shit.
nothing.
Like you'll work off thousands of years on a single mission, right? Very easily. But there are people who are like, I couldn't because they were just watching themselves get penalized for the tiniest of indiscretions, and it was like psychologically messing with them, and they tapped out. They were like, nope, I can't do
No,
it.
the game's
I was
working.
like, huh. Working as intended. Don't forget, you're here forever.
That's the-
Oh my god! Oh no, you're right.
funny too, is because it says, "Don't forget," and this disciplinary notice is reckless loss of memory for a million
Yeah.
years. It's hilarious.
Did I just catch you forgetting? Oh no, my baby!
Don't forget.
Don't forget,
Yeah,
you're here
actual
forever.
super jail, 100%. That's what it is, 100%.
Freedom
All
Wars, great game. Go play it.
All right, guys, that's all the memories we have for this week, and thanks for joining us on Memory Card Chronicles. I'm going to end it with the OG intro to This Week in Gaming History. Still good after 60 episodes. Love it. All right, moving on to the next one. Professor Ace, show us what you got going for us. Not that one. I don't know where your art went, but here's your intro song.
Yeah.
All right. Let me find your
So,
artwork.
So unfortunately, again, as Nick is out sick this week, we're going to be skipping over the news, and we are going to be jumping right back into the ring. It's It's been a few weeks since our last proper session of the tech, and to make up for that, I planned some study and some lab work that will now narrow our scope. Because, the first few sessions, the first major sessions were more, you know, discussing the overarching fundamentals of, actually getting into different games that you want to play, working with traversal, with space control, with managing your offense and defense, kind of, it was the tutorial stuff. It was the mechanics. But from here, what I want to do is actually start again, taking our focus and narrowing our scope from overarching fundamentals to discussing genres that could use a little bit more of a curious eye and a little bit more of an open mind. Expanding one's horizons by taking a more focused field of view. Now, many have used mindless button mashing as an insult to deride this particular genre of game that we're going to be discussing this week. And sure, while the control layout and the objective in most cases is simple enough to grasp, there's a simple truth here. You get out of these games as much as you put in. So, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this particular genre, and we had already discussed it a little bit earlier with a session that I would like to call The Way of Musou.
Hold on. Now listen. I have to give you grief.
Of course you do.
On behalf of Nick.
Someone's got
right, or else it's like, why are we even here? Right. So now I got to give you grief. You're like, dog, what are you doing? Is it Musou all day, every day? Is that what it is? Is it the permanent brawl? Is this Brawlhalla?
Listen, Tony's
is this what's going to happen?
Tony's is open 24/7, isn't it?
Open. It is a 24/7 establishment. Yes, Fish Sticks and Brawling Emporium.
Ahem. That is why I am the shift manager at Brawl Mart. Okay.
Shit, he's got me. I can't even give him grief now. It's a tragedy.
But to kind of kick things off, to use the initial identifier for these types of games, battlefield action games were first coined and gained wider exposure with the release of Shin Sangoku Musou, aka Dynasty Warriors 2. Now, battlefield action games are they're a divergent evolution of the classic beat 'em up. So, this is one of those things where if you're into stuff like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, King of Dragons, Alien vs. Predator, D&D, Shadow of Mystara, if you're into those kind of games, then you will already have your foot in the door. And, with battlefield action games, they're more commonly known by their shorthand genre title, Musou. Now, Musou itself as a concept is literally the concept of a warrior worth 1,000. That one-man army, someone whom the moment they hit the field, when you hear that theme music start up, that's their boss music. Now, Musou itself as a term, Musou is a Japanese term which translated to English roughly translates to peerless or unrivaled. Now, battlefield action games have one core goal: to make you, the player, into that warrior worth 1,000. And in that simple, straightforward framework, in that lies a depth of expression that can be as finely honed as the player and developer, but that also decides, it's the depth of expression in battlefield action games is really one of those things where, different people will play the same game and you'll get wildly different experiences, wildly different takes, even if both people actually enjoy the same game that they're playing. So, I could sit down, play something like Dynasty Warriors Origins, and, I'm already bringing my experience, not just with, not just with Muso games, not just with Battlefield action games, but also with other games like fighting games into this. So I'm applying my own brush to this. I'm applying my own fingerprint to the ink that this game provides. Whereas, GQ could step in, or Ryan could step in, and his take on the game, his experience with the game, what he would show off through the gameplay, through playing through it himself, it's going to be something different because of the experience that they bring in. Now, again, on the surface, you just see, buttons being pressed, a lot of cool stuff happening, waves of enemies die. I mean, Thomas Duder once referred to Dynasty Warriors as trimming China. Take a look at the game.
He said trimming China.
Yeah.
Just taking a little bit off there.
All right.
Just giving China a lineup, right? Just edge me up real quick,
Yep.
dog. That's
what. But here's the thing.
I love it.
Underneath all that, underneath the lawnmower, when you actually take a look at the engine, you'll see the different components that go into it. You'll see, combo execution, animation canceling, space control, traversal. Does that sound familiar to folks that were in class before? You've got a literal sandbox where you can practice the way of momentum, the way of the cornerstone, working with your builds, working with traversal, with space control, managing your offense, actually exploring the defensive options available in these games as well. All of our foundational paths that we've discussed in previous sessions can be explored, utilized, and expressed to, in many cases, they're theoretical extremes in Battlefield action games. From Shin Sangoku Musou to N399 Knights, Hyrule Warriors to Sengoku Basara, from Dynasty Warriors Origins to Berserk, Band of the Hawk. Every single Musou anime title in between. This genre is still often misunderstood. And I encourage folks to sit down and actually give it more than just a passing glance. I mean, you never know what you'll be able to pull up. You'll never know what you'll find. I mean, I wasn't really that big into Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
But I saw Koei Tecmo made an Attack on Titan Musou, and I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. And then they went the reverse route, considering how the anime and the manga actually plays out. So, you've got hordes of people struggling trying to take down one Titan, as opposed to, one person mowing through hordes of people. But remember how I said that Battlefield action games showcase not just the individuality of the players that engage with it, but the developers as well. And I feel like if more developers actually decided to throw their hat in the ring and tried working with this genre a little bit more, you could come up with some amazing stuff. I mean, like, sure, Koei Tecmo pretty much has the market locked when it comes to Musou and when it comes to Battlefield action games. But Capcom had them going for a while with Sengoku Basara. I mean, hell, you could almost look at something like Gundam Breaker 4 or the Gundam Breaker series in general as a Battlefield action game, because you've got your builds that you've put together and you're facing off against hordes of not just replica mobile suits, but also the standard infantry like the Goof and the Zaku, right?
Right.
And this is also why I keep saying that X-Men and Star Wars would make fantastic battlefield action games.
Man, I remember when we had that discussion. I remember that. I'm like, they literally mow down Sentinels left and right. Like it's right there. Marvel, the money's
Right?
right
I
there.
mean, seriously, if we're going with just X-Men, then you've got groups like the Purifiers, the Friends of Humanity. You've got, the different, you've got different, mass-produced Sentinels, and, just all these different, like, literal armies that are trying to eradicate mutants. And then you've got the X-Men and, the Brotherhood and the different mutant factions that are actually going through trying to carve out their own thing in the world. Easy Muso setup.
Easy.
Star Wars. Clones. The Clone Wars. Stormtroopers.
Right? It's right there.
Droids. And then in the midst of all that, for your playable characters, you've got, of course, your various Jedi. You got your Skywalkers. You got your Solos. You've got your Wookiees. And of course, seeing as how you could also pick, some of the more antagonistic characters in like Dynasty Warriors. If you take it to Star Wars, you've got your different bounty hunters that you could pick. You've got your Sith Lords. You've got, the sheer breadth and scope of the characters that could be introduced into these types of games, and the battlefield and story scenarios that are ripe for the format. It's incredibly vast, and I feel untapped. Largely untapped.
Yeah, you're right.
Ace, is the game on the screen classified as Muso? I'm curious.
I was about to say, you did have Warriors Legends of Troy on there, right?
It was. This is not the same game.
Legends of Troy is indeed classified as a Muso. In fact, when it was released in Japan, it was simply called Troy Muso.
No. What about this one? What about the one? What about this one?
So wait, like this one?
He is fighting 87 people, so
this is a different game, by the way. I know it looks the same.
But yeah, this one would count as a Muso. This is again battlefield action. Cool. So it's an action game that takes place on more sprawling
Ryan disagrees. All right. I think it's a Muso because there's a lot of characters on the screen.
And again, Muso games are a divergent evolution of the beat 'em up. So I mean, even something like say God of War. Right? There are going to be certain points where you are on a battlefield and you are just like, mowing down hordes of enemies that are coming your way. That's
yeah, you're gonna be throwing elbows.
Yep. That's it. That could be a Muso segment. But again, it's an expansion. It's an expansive enough genre that you can turn that into a whole game and still, put the kind of care and attention to detail that would make it an absolute classic. But yeah, with that being said, though, look, my aim isn't specifically to change anyone's minds or change anyone's opinions about this genre. Just to say, my aim with this particular session is to say, don't dismiss it out of hand. Give it, if curiosity strikes and you see something like these kinds of games, go with it. Give it a shot. You might find a new favorite, or at the very least, you might prove yourself right that you didn't enjoy it.
Sweet.
Now comes the fun part. Homework.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're in trouble.
Now, this week's homework is pretty simple. Find a Battlefield action game that gets your attention. Right? It doesn't have to be Dynasty Warriors. It doesn't have to be, anything Koei Tecmo. But look for games that have that kind of, Battlefield action format. Right? Give the game a try, and don't just focus on mashing buttons, right? I mean, again, the control scheme, relatively easy, relatively straightforward to pick up. But, try to think back to our initial lessons. Think back to the ways of the spear, the cornerstone, momentum, and aegis. And give yourself some time to just experiment with the mechanics and really take time digging deeper into what the game offers. Let folks know, when you do. Also, let us know how it actually changed up your experience and your perception of the game. Because that's really all this is about. It's about learning. It's about experiencing something new, stepping outside of your comfort zone. Doesn't have to be too far, but just far enough to actually, it comes back to the old saying: don't knock it till you try it. If you tried it,
just go sample the flavor. If you've never played this genre, it's exactly what Ace is saying. Find someone who does love this genre, right? And then they're gonna help onboard you, in a really good way. It's you can do that with every genre. If it's someone's like, I've never played a brawler before, I don't even understand the idea of fighting many enemies at once. If you've really got a soft on boredom, you go play something like Streets of Rage 4. It's great, right? And then, as far as a Muso goes, I mean, there's a lot of choices. That series has been going on for a hot minute, right? But get out there, give it a try. This is something I've always encouraged people to do. Step outside of your genre. Take it every now and again. Take a gamble, because whether we like it or not, playing video games that don't have demos, it's a gamble with your money in the first place, right? And you just might find that one that makes an idea click. Sometimes we don't hate entire genres. Sometimes we just don't like execution of certain genres. And we feel like that can put us off completely.
And remember how I mentioned the different third-party Muso titles? A lot of people got into Muso through Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, see, that's a good one.
A lot of people got into it through Attack on Titan.
All I'll say is, boy, we all thought superhero games were whack.
Hot garbage. Thanks to LGN.
Sorry, thanks to LGN. Oh, they were the worst. They were the goddamn worst. And then Arkham Asylum happened, and a whole bunch of people started rethinking this entire thing. And now, oftentimes, superhero games are great. So sometimes you just gotta don't just be completely done with the genre. Revisit it and see if they've done something different. Our guy, Ryan Comfort, he typically doesn't like roguelikes, right? So when one catches his attention, I go, you know what? I want to take a look, right? Because I know you don't like this genre. So if you're like, ooh, this is it. This scratched that itch. I'm like, okay, he's my picky eater of the bunch. But if he's into it, I'm more inclined, because I know you're so critical of this genre. And it's the same thing. If you're critical of Musos, you may not have played enough Musos to get an idea, because some of them are, they're certified. And as a bonus to everything Ace is saying, boy, you tend to get your money's worth, because you're going to be there for a while. You don't play a Muso and it's 6 hours long. No, the completionism on that is intense. I'm still beating myself up to this day. I'm like 2 trophies away from platinum Fist of the North Star Ken's Rage 2 on the damn PS3. It's sitting 7 feet from me. All I had to do was finish just like 2 characters. 2 characters to just finish all the stages. That's all you got to do. I don't have to hit a rating, nothing. Just finish what I started. And I burned out years ago and I haven't come back. Damn it, this is my year.
Speaking of mutations, yes, I am the mutant that would actually sit back and restart something like Dynasty Warriors 3 from scratch.
Why? Because again,
I think Ace just has the love for the game for Muso, and you can't hate him for that. It's pretty cool. You know, I for one platinumed 7, and that put me away from Dynasty Warriors for a long time.
That's fair.
Homie said I had to take.
I had to take a 2 series break. Skipped 8 completely. 9 was like Ace was like, "That's not good," and I was like, "All right, I'll skip that one."
And also, this is a good week to actually bring up Muso, because not only do we have the expansion for Dynasty Warriors Origins coming on the 22nd, but March we have the remaster for the one that pretty much got a lot of us into the genre to begin with, Dynasty Warriors 3.
Excellent.
Thanks, Shao.
That's amazing.
Appreciate that.
Incredible.
Until next time, as always, just remember how I like to end off these sessions. Study hard, train smart, and may your combos always connect.
All right, here we go.
Perfect.
Good job. That is the tech. I hope y'all learned something tonight, because I did. Muso games have always been like a special game for me, like type of game. It's just like fun, it's like turn off your brain, play, feel powerful, right? And you can change the difficulty as much as you want. It can be like easy and they're just drones, or super hard and you die in 2 arrows. It's usually how that works.
So yeah, you can go from trimming China to peon mode.
Peon mode. There you go.
The trim, though, that just fucking kills me. Just taking a little off the edges, man.
All right, chat. What are some of your takeaways tonight before we switch over to the final boss? Put them in chat right now. Let us know what you, if you learned something new tonight, or if you want to add something to the conversation. Yeah, please share. Do share. Extra credit. We'll keep putting quarters in, right?
There you
That's
go.
how it works. Also, here I found my my Sega noise. Sega. There you go.
Oh, and also another kind of interesting take on Muso, just to kind of wrap this up with a nice and neat little bow. Jagos, he just mentioned in the chat that his first Dynasty Warriors game was apparently Warriors Abyss.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, I forgot that just came out.
So the Muso roguelike.
Andrew didn't know that was out. He was like disappointed I didn't tell him.
Well, it kind of shadow dropped.
It did. We didn't know it existed. So it's been out for a hot minute. So let's see. Let's read some of these takeaways. I love these. This is great. So Andre Venom said Battlefield action game. Yeah, I never really call it that. So that's cool. I like that. Jagos. Something you learned tonight. Tripping with China is just a new way to think about Muso. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Population control.
Starfield has a Star Wars mod fan game. That's actually interesting.
I've been hearing some stuff about that, and I saw some of the footage.
I did too. It looks pretty cool.
Man.
And our Comfort 94 says Spartan Total Warrior should be played. It's an absolute gem. I agree.
Into that.
I agree. While everyone was playing God of War 3, I was chiseling away at Spartan Total Warrior. I love that.
I will have to look into that then.
Indeed, a hit.
Oh no! Did he get spirited away again? Oh
He
no!
did. He's been taken by the wind of land, the land of wind and ghost. No, China got him. China got him. They didn't like to trade him. They didn't like the trimming, and they
Oh,
trimmed
no.
him. They trimmed him
Oh,
instead.
no.
Okay.
But yeah, let's see. Yeah, Ryan, I am definitely going to take you up on that recommendation. I'm going to try and look to see if I can get my hands on Spartan, either through emulation or wait, it's on PS3, right? Let me double check. Spartan Total Warrior. Oh, PS2, even better. I can emulate. Yep.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm gonna go snag Spartan Total Warrior. I'm gonna give that a shot. Hell, you know what? I might. That's what we'll play for Retro Sunday. We can definitely do that.
Now's a really good time to go ahead and talk about the Gamer Quotient merch store, right, Ace?
This is a pretty solid time to talk about it, actually, because I mean, that's part of what's been helping support the show. And I mean, look, the moment I saw that I could snag a cap, I had to get it. But it's like it's saying at the bottom, go get your school clothes. Go get your school clothes. But honestly, when we initially started this, we weren't really considering a merch store because, we were still just trying to make sure we had that set up where, we could have a format, have a place where, folks could discuss gaming without the controversy, just
Mm-hmm.
have a good time in a relatively chill environment with good people, both on the panel and in the seats.
Yep.
But, not just to make sure that we can keep up with the quality of the show and, of course, making sure that fewer of these technical issues actually occur. But honestly, just, actually being able to pick up some of the merch from the store, it's just kind of cool wearing it around because, I've been out a couple of times, wearing the cap, and people ask what's going on, what is Gamer Quotient, and it gives me a chance to just, talk about the podcast. It gives me a chance to talk gaming. I mean, I'm slowly chipping away at some of my coworkers at the office, trying to get them to actually tune in on Tuesdays.
You're like, show up, punk.
If they want to see me act an even bigger fool than I do on the clock,
And we're very good at what we do. We're professionals, okay? We've been doing this for over a decade.
It's like professional idiots. Just add water.
Right, some real whoop, 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 whoop. But to let's see, well, you could probably drop the link. Let me go see. But to tell people what is available there, over there at GQ Asian Dude shop.fourthwall.com, which is obviously scrolling at the bottom here. That's where you can get all of our merch. We've got mugs. We've got t-shirts. We've got 2 different t-shirts. We got a snapback cap. We've got stickers, and everything is very, very well designed, very reasonably priced, and is made specifically to support this channel. That's what it's for, right? A lot of people like to get a lot of fingers into the pie with this kind of stuff, and we're now able to cut out the middleman and get the great stuff straight to you, right? So go take a look at what you like, and if you don't see something that you don't like, well, there's also the Discord link there, which you should be joining that Discord channel, and you should come in and tell us what you would like to see up there so that we're better able to serve you and to help you rep the crowd that you run with. Amen.
Absolutely, amen. This ain't just shameless self-promotion here, folks. This is, look, the closed mouth don't get fed. So we're piping up saying, hey, if you want to help us out, like if you feel so inclined, to actually help us out by, purchasing merch, or again, join the Discord, join the conversation, because you want to know what else helps us out? It ain't just the money. It's the interaction. It's, dare I say it, the community, the viewership. We're public. We're a public access channel. These podcasts are possible in part by the generous donations and conversations of viewers like you.
Which sadly, the Public Broadcasting Corporation was just shut down. So, all that hurts. Like, oh no.
right.
Mistakes were made.
Back. What I miss?
Well, we just spent some time telling people about our lovely Fourth Wall shop and all the wonderful things that they can get, like shirts and caps and mugs and things to help keep this going.
Cool. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah. Also, I've been asking for photographs to share on social media. Nothing like the best advertising than the consumer sharing what they're wearing. So, face optional if you like. I know I always say that. Like, I have a few buddies that bought some stuff for me, and I said, like, hey, send me a photo if you don't want to share your face. Totally cool. But I'd love to share it on social media with you, tag you, and all that stuff. So, awesome. All right. Well, thanks for holding it down, guys. Let's move on to the final segment of the show, but not the final chapter of the show, of the show, aka I got a new thing for this. Where we go? Damn it! All right, here we go. The final boss. All right. Well, if it's first time here, this is the segment of the show where we take video game life stories into normal life stories. So I'd just like to kind of send the premise that the final boss is designed to kind of like help uplift your personal goal, your personal life, and personal choices. Because I take it very personal when I was a kid. In the 80s, a lot of adults and a lot of people in my circle always felt that gaming was a waste of time. Right? They're like, "Oh, you're just rotting away. Yeah, your gaming is useless. There's nothing wrong. It's pointless to do." And now it's like 40 years later, and I now have a podcast where I share some of the things I learned through gaming, and hopefully that can bleed over to you guys. And on your journey of life, you can defeat your final boss. So here we go. Tonight's show, or tonight's segment, is called Choosing the Next Chapter. Okay. So, episode 60. We did it, guys. We are a little bit over a year. And let me give you guys something to watch while I'm doing this. I have to actually queued up before I have to boot it up again because, my internet decided to crap out on me. That was awesome.
So, while we're getting you geared up to deal with your final boss, we're also trying to, deal with our own final boss, aka
Right.
the internet service providers.
daily final just daily final boss things, right? So I chose Demon Souls as a background here just to get a little bit of a on theme about checkpoints and save points. This is probably one of the first games that really emphasized choosing on save points and how important they are. And when you fail, you just go back to your save point, start over again, take what you learned, your mistakes, your experience, and apply it to life and to your stage. So that's why it's very like on point and on theme. The section is called Choosing the Next Chapter. Why episode 60 tonight isn't a peak, it's a pivot. Now, episode 60 sounds like a milestone, and it is. But in gaming, milestones aren't endings, they're save points. In games, when you hit a save point, the credits don't roll. There's no victory screen. It's more like saving about a bonfire in Dark Souls, or Demon Souls in this case. Hitting a save crystal in Final Fantasy. Matter of fact, my roommate is playing Final Fantasy 9 not that long ago. So, or reaching a checkpoint in Mega Man for you retro heads out there, right? And for those, and I know people can, relate to this, walking into a Poké Center before the next route, right? You pause, you reset, and the game asks you to keep going. That's where we are here at the Gaming Academy. 60 episodes in, it would be easy to treat this like a final boss fight. Every night we have those. Like we've beaten the game, right? We're just getting started. But this moment feels more like, you know, leaving Midgar, stepping into the world map, looking at that huge world, just full of opportunities and discovery, right? Finishing Act 1 and realizing the tutorial is over. You're like, wow, that was just a tutorial? Holy smokes. Or even unlocking the full skill tree, knowing mistakes matter now than ever before, right? These are very important things that we realize. The game didn't end, it just opened it up. And when the games open up, they start asking more from you. No more hand holding, no more pop up tutorials. And you're expected to do a few things, right? Know your build, understand the systems, okay? Manage your resources, and choose which quests are actually worth your time. You can't brute force your way through anymore. Ace just said that tonight. Don't button mash, right? Take what he's been teaching you for the past year, apply it to your games. Next thing you know, you're excelling. You have a whole different perspective on gaming, and a whole different way to play. Maybe you could even reignite some of the old games you've played in a different perspective with a different skill set, right? Episode 60 isn't about grinding XP just to see numbers go up, right? Or chasing every side quest on the marker on the map, right? Those are very attractive. We want to level up before we get to the actual, main points of the story, aka speed running to the next checkpoint, right? It's not about that, not at all. We talk about intention. It's about choosing how we play here on out, because every game eventually reaches a point where the question isn't, can you play? It's more like, will you explore or rush to the main quest? I'm doing that with some of the games now. I don't have a lot of time, right? Or will you respect stamina or mash until you get punished? That's like what Ace said in Dynasty Warriors. Or will you lower the difficulty when life gets busy or quit entirely? That's a tough one. That's something you have to decide yourself as a player of your own game. Now, those choices define the rest of the game. And right now we're choosing, right? Depth over noise, learning over flexing, intention over obligation, right? That's a big one. Because mastery isn't about being overpowered, it's about understanding why something works. The best chapters in gaming aren't the opening cutscenes or the end credits. They're the moments where the game trusts you enough to stop explaining itself, where you open your own menu, look at your loadout, your map, your save file, and say, all right, I know what kind of player I am now. I get it. Episode 60 isn't a game over screen. It's the moment the world opens up and the game quietly asks you, how do you want to play the rest of this? All right? So keep that in mind for the end of the show. This isn't the end of the game. It's a save point. Think about that in your own life. Because from here on out, we, the Gaming Academy, we choose the next chapter. And that's your final boss for tonight, guys. So takeaways, throw it on the chat. I'd love to hear feedback from you guys, see what's going on. Comments, suggestions, aka we'll love that, hear that from the panel too. So any takeaways from tonight, guys?
One of the most important games I ever played in my 40 years of gaming this year, which still just blows my mind every time I say it. I've been gaming for 40 years. Wow. I believe that Demon Souls, that you led off with, I think it's one of the most important games ever made, because it forced me to completely rethink how I was approaching problems. And I believe that all games help us learn. Last week you had asked me to bring these interesting things that I know about video games to the table, as the knowledge base, the historian, right? Well, there's kind of 2 points to be made of difficult things and trying circumstances. First and foremost, let's talk about Kojima ever so briefly. Hideo Kojima has always been known for making a weird, different kind of game. related because Death Stranding plays and has mechanics very similar to Souls games, asynchronous gameplay, right? We're all playing together, but we're not playing together. Um, and one of the taglines for Kojima Productions is uh, from sapiens to ludens, right? And Homo sapiens is basically sapient. That's man thinking, right? Which is where we currently are. And ludens is playing, so man playing, right? Um, as another tiny little factoid there, in Death Stranding, one of the factions that you have to deal with is called the Homo Demons, and that is Latin for madman, right? So it all kind of comes together there. Death Stranding and both Demon Souls change how you look at problems, but Demon Souls' unique thing, part of the game is failing at it. Part of the game is losing, right? And a lot of people forget that sometimes you lose and your loss was what was supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be victorious at every single thing that you set out to try to do. How many times have we encountered a boss fight in a game that just feels like this is just impossible? And it's because it was designed for you to never to win it in the first place. I'm looking at my arm right now and I'm thinking about Mega Man X. You get clapped in that first stage. Homie lights you up. Like, it's like, are some of these fights technically winnable? Yes, but they make it very, very, very difficult. But a lot of times, you're not supposed to win. So you need to redefine for yourself what winning is. Anytime that I go and take some of the younger hunters out in Monster Hunter, I tell them at the start of every brand new monster, it's brand new to the series, or it's a brand new variation, I'm going to go, guys, we're probably going to lose because we have never done this before. We don't know what's coming. That's okay. We're here to not win the fight. We're here to learn the fight, right? We're here to gather data. And if we change our mindset and put it around that, then even if we card out, we didn't lose because we got what we were looking for, data. We were looking for information, things to help us grow and to go forward, right? And so Demon Souls is what got me into that mindset. Wait, what if dying isn't the issue? It's did you learn after walking around the same corner 27 times and you got stabbed in your back? Did you finally learn on the 28th time that someone's going to try and stab me around in the back around this corner, and to have that damn shield up, right? That's the thing that's magical. That's the secret sauce. That's the thing that you have to make it not just in games, but you got to make it in life too. Ironically, one of the great movies, Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise, based on the manga All You Need Is Kill, follows this almost flawlessly. Man, Tom Cruise gets killed so many times in that movie.
He gets killed so many
But
times. His
he
name should
starts-
be Sean Bean.
Damn. No, why did I do that? Why
Yeah,
you gotta do it
Sean
like that?
Bean catches
Why you
strays
gotta bring him
tonight.
Man. Sean Bean, he's living right now. He's going, what the fuck did I do to that guy? He's sitting there hurt. He's hurt. He's like, I'm just getting climbed on left to right. He's like, listen, I'm trying to pay a mortgage, right? I got bills. And he's like, they want me to die on screen. I'll die. I don't care. I need money. I need bread. So no, it's always a thing to look at. This was a man who was an officer in the military, but he was no soldier. And by the time he got done, he sure was a soldier, and he was ready to fight, and he wasn't scared because he knew what was coming. He knew what he needed to do, and he was prepared to do it. And that's what this stuff is right here. Stop and take a breather anytime you need to. Catch your breath. Life is a marathon, not a sprint, right? You're going to be at this for a while, but always remember to learn along the way. And we're all doing it in an asynchronous fashion. You're living your life, but so am I. Sometimes we're going to cross paths. Let's try and make it the best of it when we do, instead of the worst of it. That's what I've got.
Yes, sir. I would say the academy is like the soapstone. We all gather and get summoned to team up against, the boss of the segment, right? Love it. Love it. Well said, sir. Well said. All right. I got some homework for you guys in the chat. Students, extra credit. I would love for it if you join our Discord and share how gaming itself has helped you in your life. And if you're okay to share that, I can read it on the final boss for you guys. If you guys are comfortable with that, you let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that. But if you send to our Discord in the suggestion box, I'll put it in there. If you want to DM it to me, if you don't want to share it, in the as a group, and you want to DM it, do that as well. I'll make sure if you're comfortable with it, we'll share it on the show for you if that's what you want. So extra credit for you guys to work on. Share your gaming experience that you applied to your life, and how can or maybe in the show. Andre said, real talk. You guys really broadened my horizons and got me out through some rough mental spots with the streams and episodes. So appreciate that. That's partially one of the many reasons why I wanted to do this, because I know there are gamers out there that are just going through it, right? And just know that you're not alone, and know that there are other people out there that think like you as well, and they're just not as vocal, So, but we want to bring all those people together in our little part of the world here. So. Okay. All right.
It's hard out there in the streets.
Yeah, it's rough outside. All right. So, okay. All right. Well, I mean, we're basically.
I think I have
Yeah, go ahead.
one very small, tiny bit of news that caught my eye, but I wasn't sure where it would fit, so I just figured I'd put it in at the end. But um, I'm hearing there's a lot of GameStops closing across the United States right now. There's a lot of them closing, hundreds that are going to close before this month is out. Like, bad things are happening, so people need to check if that's where you primarily pick up your games or you pick up your gaming accessories. You should double check your local stores and make sure that that's still going to be an option for you. I have seen signs in some of those stores that say that all business needs to be, this store is closing, these are going to be the locations that remain in this area, and there's going to be like get an extra 20% on your trade-on or whatever if at those stores, right? If you've got leftover credits, right, or if you have reservations, they may have been transferred to other stores. So by all means, folks, please take the time to look that up and check on your area, right? It's kind of passed by in the news, but it just zipped right past me, and I was like, ooh, that's kind of a big deal. So hey, eyes open, right?
Thanks for looking out. I actually posted a link to a blogspot site that has a list of stores closing confirmed from the public. Fortunately, the stores in our town are safe, it looks like. So, I mean, we only have one left. We had two, so we have one left. So that's good for us. But check that list, verify what Oliver said, and then just check in. You don't want these corporations taking your money without getting anything. So just double check yourself.
That's right.
All right. Let's see here. Let's close this bad boy out for tonight. Before we close out, I wanted to make sure that to thank you guys. Of course, thank you for spending your time with us. We genuinely appreciate it. And if you enjoy these conversations and want to keep going, we got a community waiting for you. Join us on the Gaming Academy Discord. It's in the bottom there if you want to join. It's where discussions continue between classes, where you can share with your fellow students and just have a good time. We share a bunch of stuff on there that we like, and sometimes we share it on the show too. And if you have any suggestions you want to kind of feature on the show, you let me know. There's a suggestion box in there. So I do have a new segment coming up that I won't share just yet, but just know it's going to be something that it's special. It won't happen every time, but it's going to be good when it does. So, and keep in mind, you can also follow, myself, Ace, under, put it on the chat, Ace, whatever your socials are. I recommend as a team, maybe we create like one of those link sites that has all our socials on it, so people can just find all our socials in one page.
So yeah, like an Academy link tree.
Yeah, like an Academy link tree, basically.
Yes.
Okay, we'll work on that, guys. Make it an easier and better experience for you guys instead of like trying to find us on searches. One page.
Trying to smooth this
Yeah,
bad
you
boy
guys
out. Lower the barrier to entry. Get you right in there. Just slide you in. We'll just butter you up real quick. We'll get some margarine and put it on you. Just slide you under the door.
Bookmark it, all that stuff.
I just had to make that fucking gross. I had to do that for Nick. Somebody had to be nasty tonight.
Somebody
I was
had
like,
to be
okay, let's
Oh
moist.
god,
go. Yeah, exactly. Moisten you
moisture
up.
is worse than moist. But yeah, check us out on Gaming GQ Asian Dude Gaming on Instagram, Quotient on X. Stay up to date on upcoming classes, clips, announcements. I'm working on the clips personally, so please have some mercy on me. It does take some time. And if you want to support the Academy like these guys already mentioned earlier, so belovedly, and rep what we're building, check out the official Gaming Academy merch in the links description. Of course, I think they already put it in the chat there. So like I said before, before I forget, I've been sipping on this bad boy. I want to mention this all stream. I want to make sure you guys can see. Right. So Dubby is actually a sponsored drink of the channel. I want to share you guys here on the upper right hand corner. If you go to Dubby.com and use the code GQ Asian Dude, you guys get 10% off their merch, also their energy drinks. They're based off green coffee extract. So it's jitter-free caffeine for you guys, okay? And you guys get tubs, and the more you buy, the more you save, of course, and they have great flavors. This flavor, the one I'm drinking right now, is yuzu, which is like a Japanese lime lemon, and it's fantastic. So, but I implore you to check out their page, see what kind of flavors they got. They got some new, what do you call this, collaborations with like Firen, I think, and Chainsaw Man and Solo Leveling, which just goes right into the theme of our show. So check them out. And to my knowledge, they're based off California, so they're local in America. And they're the guy that pulls the orders is actually like one of the guys that pulls the orders is the CEO, and then he like emails us and kind of gives us more promos and stuff. So small company, I love it, and small podcast fits right in with our show. So check out W when you guys get a chance. Okay, fantastic. All right. So with that said, let's close this bad boy out for tonight. What do I got for you guys? All right, I did everything. You know it, Ace. What do you got to say? I think you got to say these lines because they're part of your segment.
Well, yeah. Just before we close out, I really want to make sure to just thank y'all for spending your time with us. We genuinely appreciate it. If you enjoy these conversations, you want to keep them going, just follow us on the Discord. You can follow us individually on X, aka Twitter. You can follow us on Twitch. But more than anything, just keep these words in mind. All right. Learn the craft, master the game. Honestly, it's the same as what I was mentioning earlier in regards to Battlefield action games. You can go into it and button mash, and you've got your in, but take the time and actually, give the games a shot. Give your life a shot. Learn what you can, because you've trained, you've leveled up. Now it's time to face your own final boss. We'll catch y'all back here next week for another great session with this excellent faculty and with all the excellent students we have here in the chat. Until then, class dismissed.
We'll see you next class, students. Later.
Everybody be good.